Alright, ArenaNet dropped an absolute bombshell with their latest announcement. They revealed that every player who owns at least one Legendary Rune will get a Legendary Relic for free when the next update goes live. This news increased the cost of crafting a single rune from a little over 600 gold to over 800 gold right now. This might seem like a terrible thing, but it doesn't have to be. There is more than enough time to farm most of the materials yourself and significantly reduce the amount of gold you actually need. Or if you don't care to get one, this means prime gold making time. The main reason for this price increase is the 3 charms to craft the Gift of Runes. The supply on the trading post took a nosedive and the demand is only increasing. The good news is that we can farm these ourselves. If you own a Runecrafter Salvage-O-Matic or an Endless Upgrade Extractor, you can salvage the runes in green or yellow armor with a 100% success rate. And if you don't own either, you can still use this to your advantage by selling green and yellow unidentified gear on the trading post. About 2 months ago, I published a guide on efficiently farming unidentified gear for globs of ectoplasm. The trick is not limiting yourself to meta events, but knowing which other maps can be farmed to massively increase the amount of unidentified gear you can obtain. The great news is that except for one meta event, everything can be done solo and on your own schedule. I am very well aware that everyone's playtime is limited to varying degrees. So I'll explain the most important zones right now and link a much more extensive guide in the pinned comment. The one meta event you want to run is the Octovine in Auric Basin, which happens roughly every 2 hours. After successful completion, you'll be able to loot the inner chambers, which are littered with chests that all drop unidentified gear. It is slightly unethical, but you could join the map about 6 minutes past the hour and still loot all of the chests, without necessarily having to complete the meta itself. Octovine can be farmed more than once per day, but from the second time onward, you will have to participate for the chests to reset. The next most worthwhile farm is the Icebound chests and Eternal Ice in the Bjora Marches. Both Tekit and Elissa have made incredible routes for Blishut, which will significantly reduce the time this takes. Eternal Ice Shards are equally as important if you plan on crafting your own rune, as you can exchange those for Living World Season 4 currency, which can be consumed for volatile magic and traded in for trophy shipments. These will give you the majority of tier 5 and 6 materials for the gifts of Condensed Might and Magic, or can be sold on the trading post for a nice bit of profit. The most important map to know about is the Bitterfrost Frontier. This will be your single best source of unidentified gear and can be farmed roughly every hour. All of the Icebound chests will reset once the meta to kill 9 champions has been completed. So with this in mind, I'd advise you to start your farming session here and loot all of the Icebound chests and try to fit in the Octovine and Bjora Marches in between. Another good source of unidentified gear is the repeatable hero points in Heart of Thorns. Most of the time there are people around that will be happy to help you kill the champions. And I'll link a couple of builds in the pinned comment that will have you soloing them in no time yourself. If you are planning on crafting your own rune, the good news is that these 5 things cover most of the materials you need. The rest are Mystic Clovers, Globs of Ectoplasm, Obsidian Shards and Provisioner tokens, for which you can find even more in-depth guides in the pinned comment as well. There is a little over 30 days left before the next update goes live, which is more than enough time to either farm everything you need for a single rune, or make enough gold to set up your account for the rest of the expansion. I do believe it's a pretty decent deal to craft at least one Legendary Rune if you don't own any yet, as this will get you the relic for free, which will otherwise involve a process similar to other legendary items according to ArenaNet. I would advise against crafting more than one right now and use the rest of the time to sell your excess materials at a hefty premium. My guess is that once the update goes live, the prices will eventually return to normal levels, after which you can craft the rest at a much more reasonable price. If you have any other comments or questions, feel free to ask them down below, or join my Discord where I frequently post other tips that don't make it into my videos. There is more than 250 of us and we'd love to help you. And you know what to do next. Like, comment and subscribe.